special, actually. Tonight, I was thinking earlier today, actually, about all of this getting back to work and not getting back to work and jobs lost. And honestly, I even started thinking about my own situation. I was like, man, the music industry has really been hit hard. And, you know, what are we going to do? Hey, Sebastian. Um, but I was like, for a minute there, I started getting a little bummed out, and I was like, man, I gotta, I gotta figure something out. I've got a wife and three kids, and what am I gonna do? And so it started to kind of bother me, and it hadn't been. I'd been really handling it well because I just know that God is who He says He is, right? But for some reason, I just a moment of weakness today, and it kind of bummed me out. And I'm just keeping it real with you. And but something hit me. I was thinking about the concerts, and as we've toured all over the world, actually, but every time that we do a concert, we take some time in the middle of our concert, and we share about children that don't have any food. We share about children that don't have any clean running water, and that's every concert that we do. And so I started thinking about the concert, and I was like, actually, what I was thinking about was, man, I want to put on a big live show for you guys, even if I have to do it in my garage. In my garage. And so, I was like, man, I'm gonna figure this out, and I'm gonna do a concert for all of the 7 Day Slumber fans out there, and I'm gonna use pyro in my garage, and I'm gonna go hard. And so anyway. But as I was thinking about the concert, I started thinking about the time in the middle of the concert where we talk about hungry children. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do today? Instead of sitting here and worrying about how am I going to get the bills paid, instead of sitting here and thinking about how I got to get back on the road and that kind of stuff, I was just like, man, I'm gonna do something for somebody else, and so my wife and I made a decision to sponsor another child, and so we're gonna sponsor another child. When I say my wife and I made the decision, she's just hearing about it right now in the next room as she is on the computer watching. But she knew that I wanted to do something today. I wanted to do something that would cost us. I wanted to take a step out and do something that I could say, God, I'm not gonna sit here and allow myself to not trust you, God. And so I made a decision that I want to sponsor another child. I want to go and take that step of faith. And so anyway, but I also wanted to do something with you guys tonight. I'm gonna hang out with you and talk to you. I've got people watching from YouTube, and people watching from Periscope, and people watching on Facebook, and people watching on Seventh Day Slumbers Facebook and my personal Facebook, and so a bunch of people watching from different places. And so I want to do this. I want to set a goal of 10 kids tonight, and I'm gonna. Not only am I sponsoring one of those kids, but I'm gonna hook you up tonight. Some of you have asked us about buying merch and that kind of stuff, and we've had links up, and it's been cool because some of you have bought T-shirts, and we appreciate all of that. Trust me, we really do. But tonight, I just want to do something different. Tonight, I want to hook you up with some merch, but I want to get 10 children. I need 10 people watching tonight that say, you know what, dude, I don't have a lot of money, but I'm willing to sponsor a child. It's there's no contracts. No one's gonna come looking for you if you can't pay it every month, but I promise you, man, I know that we serve a God that if you take care of his, he'll take care of yours. But I wanted to go above and beyond that. So I've got a bunch of stuff right here. It's in front of me. And so instead of buying anything from us tonight, I'm just going to hook you up. Instead of buying anything from us tonight, I'd rather that you pick a child to sponsor. And I'm going to have Lori put the link up. She's going to pin it to the top. And there'll be a link. And when you click on that link, you can find a child to sponsor. And I'll get a notification that you sponsored a child. And then, in turn, I'm going to send you a bunch of stuff, a ginormous amount of stuff. So let me just tell you what I'm going to give you, okay? I'm going to give you this cool bracelet. It says Seventh Day Slumber. Well, if it'll focus. This is not focusing. There it is. It says Seventh Day Slumber. And there's different colors of them. Sorry about it not focusing. Different colors of them. And then I'm going to hook you up with a slap bracelet. Psh. There's a slap bracelet for you. So you'll get this bracelet. I'm going to hook you up with t-shirts. Well, I'll show you. While supplies last, I only think I have like 5 of these. So maybe 6, I don't know, but in different colors. And so I'll hook you guys up with these 7th Day Slumber hats. So you'll get wristbands. I'll put a few of them in there for you that say 7th Day Slumber. And hats. I'm going to hook you up with a t-shirt. Like, this is a cool t-shirt. I'll send you one of these One Nation. Oh, in distress right there. I'll send you one of these shirts. 7th Day Slumber, One Nation Under God. And then I'll hook you up with some drumsticks that say 7th Day Slumber on them. Why won't this focus? But you get the point. It says 7th Day Slumber on it. And then we have another cool shirt. This one that is 7th Day Slumber, Help Me Hold On. It's from our song Alive Again. And on the back it says, I want to feel alive again, right? So I'll hook you up with that shirt. Oh, then our CD is Closer to Chaos. Boom. 7th Day Slumber CD, Closer to Chaos. Right there, holding it down. I'll give you that as well. Oh, and then this is from the tour that we were half in before it got canceled. And the Variety Tour. With the Stars Go Dim, 7th Day Slumber, Stars Go Dim, and Stephen Malcolm. You probably can't see that because it's just out of focus. Stars Go Dim, Stephen Malcolm, the Variety Tour. These light up. Okay? So, I'm going to... Yeah, they've put the link up. I'm looking over here because that's where all my comments are and stuff. I probably should move them over here so I can stay focused on the camera, kind of, right? But look, man, I'm just doing this tonight because I'm not going to let the devil have another moment of my joy. I'm not going to let the devil have another day. And there are kids that don't have any clean running water. I'm stuck in my house and I can't tour. And you know, I have clean running water and I have food to eat. And there are children that don't tonight and they're dealing with the coronavirus. And so, 183 countries were affected, or thereabouts, by the coronavirus, but here we are dealing with a messed up economy in the United States, but there are other countries where they didn't have food in the first place, and then they get hit with the coronavirus. And these are kids that write us letters. My wife and I sponsor several children. All three of my sons sponsor children. All of our band members sponsor children, and it's $36 a month once again to sponsor a child. And there's no contracts, but tonight, instead of buying something from us, I'd rather you use that money to sponsor a child. There'll be a link right here. And once again, if you sponsor a child tonight for the $36, I'm just going to send you 2 t-shirts that are right here. I showed them earlier. 2 t-shirts, CD, a hat, poster, cool poster. Here, look at this. El Guapo right there. There's El Guapo. That means handsome in Espanol. You'll get that. You'll get some bracelets and a bunch of other stuff. So, USA, what about us? What you mean, what about us? I gotta say, here in the United States, we have food banks. Yeah, people are hurting, people are struggling, people are going through a tough time, but we have food banks here. We have clean running water here. We have, you can walk into a store and use if you were thirsty, you could walk into a bathroom in a store and you could get something to drink. And so I'm talking about children that don't have any clean running water, that don't have any food. And Wayne, I get it. You say money, money, money. This money doesn't go to me. So I'm not selling you something. At the end of the day, if you don't want to sponsor a child, don't sponsor a child. That's on you. All right. That's up to you. Some of you already sponsor children. Some of you, I'm on my page doing my thing because it's something that I feel like God told me to do. So I'm doing it. And if you ain't feeling it, you can bounce, homie. But at the end of the day, I've met some of these very children, and I've held them in my arms. And so, it's close to me. And so also, I get that question a lot though. Like I'll get off stage and somebody will say, like Wayne, here, I'll put it right here. Like Wayne McCloskey, says children in our country. Yeah, I get that when I get off stage at times, but, once again, it's important to know that here in the United States, we have enough food to feed every hungry child in the world. We have enough food here in the United States to feed every hungry child in the world, but not every hungry child in the world has enough food, right? And so for us, we do help kids in the United States, but nobody really asks that question. They just go straight to, man, we got kids in our own country that are hungry and thirsty, but you never asked whether we help kids in our own country. We do. My wife and I have helped our band, Seventh Day Slumber, has helped many children. We believe in giving, and anybody that knows us, anybody that's watching that's ever been around Seventh Day Slumber knows our heart and knows that we help everybody. We don't just help hurting children. We help people that are dealing with suicide, people that are struggling with depression and anxiety, cutting, eating disorders. And, I spend countless hours talking to people because I love them and I care. And so that's that on that. All right. At the end of the day, if someone doesn't want to sponsor a child, that's okay. I understand. I get it. Money's tight. This is more because God asked me to do it, And so I'm doing something that I felt like God was wanting me to do. And so instead of me selling you merch, I'd rather you sponsor a child. And, my goal was to get 10 kids sponsored. And tonight or this week, by the end of this weekend, and I'm not going to be doing telethons. This isn't a telethon, man. I don't have no script. I didn't write something down before I got on here, and many of you know that I don't roll like that. I just speak from right here. I speak from my heart. And so I had a bunch of merch sitting in my garage, and I had a choice. I could try to put up a link and sell you some so I could meet my needs and feed my family, or I could just say, you know what? I trust God to take care of my needs, and I want to do something for somebody else. And there were a bunch of kids that could have got sponsored on this tour. What about them? When our tour was canceled, I started thinking, man, what am I going to do? What am I going to do for my family? What am I going to do for my children? What am I going to do for my band members? That was what I started thinking. And I didn't even stop I'm just being honest with you. And I'm ashamed to admit this, but I'm admitting it right now. I didn't even stop to think, what about all those children that would have gotten sponsored on our tour? What about the thousands of children that may be even losing a sponsor right now because their sponsor can't afford to feed their children right here in the United States? You know what I mean? Times are tough, but there are some of you that can do it. And so I'm not telling you don't feed your family and, go sponsor a child if it's going to make your family go hungry. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that some of us spend money on a bunch of nonsense, like going to the convenience store and buying snacks because we're bored here, or we'll spend money on, whatever streaming service we have, whether it's Netflix or Amazon or Disney, or whether it's Spotify or Apple Music, but we'll spend money, and we'll find the money to do that if it's something that gives us comfort, not even a need. Like, it's not even a need. Pringles aren't a need. A Kit Kat isn't a need. You know what I mean? The amazing Reese's peanut butter cups that we all love so much, that's not a need, but we'll find that money. And meanwhile, there's a kid that needs some help, man. And that's what I'm saying. So, I that's where I'm at. And so instead of me trying to put my merch link up here, which I have done before. Some people asked, how can we buy merch? And so I've put a link up. But instead of me doing that, I'm saying, look, here's a link where you can sponsor a child. And if you sponsor a child, I'm going to give you all of this stuff that's here. 2 t-shirts, a hat, a poster, a CD, drumsticks, bracelets. I mean, I don't know how much this all amounts to. But it's more than the $36 that you would have spent to sponsor a child. So once again, there's a link. And so, and if 10 kids don't get sponsored, at least I tried, man. At least I tried. It was something I felt in my heart to do. And so, thank you, Norm. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kenny. That means a lot, man. Kevin, how you doing? Ian, driving down the road with my dad and your music comes on. That's awesome. Oceans from the Rain. My baby girl was hurt very badly, and this song just had 2.5. This song just at 2.5 helped her through the pain when I couldn't. She's here watching you right now. She's like, Mom, is he going to sing my song? Oh, Christy, how you doing? What's your daughter's name? Did I miss it on there? Man, next time I come on here, Christy, I'll make sure I can do Oceans from the Rain. It's funny that you mentioned that song, though, because that's one of my favorite songs. You make oceans from the rain, breathing life into this place. I will drown inside your love until I see your perfect face. That's for your daughter. It's funny because I have guitars there, guitar here, and that song has to be in a weird tuning, and none of those guitars are tuned to that. So next time I'm gonna have at least one of these guitars tuned to that. Rob from Random Heroes on here. What's up, Rob? Love you, man. Love that new video. You guys go check out Random Hero's new video. It's called Outgrown is the song. And that video is awesome. Especially like if you're a parent, man, I dare you to watch that video without having your heart melted. I love it, man. And especially too, Rob, the part, I guess that you were baptizing one of your kids. It was hard to see because that part was a little dark. Not like, oh, that got dark real fast type of dark, but like the lighting was dark, so it was hard to see. But I could tell that you were baptizing one of your kids. But anyway, it's all good, Wayne. It's all good, man. But I appreciate you apologizing, man. Once again, like I jumped on here because I care about the people that come to our concerts, but I also care about people that the last thing on their mind is, can I get $10 to go to a concert? They just want to get something to eat and something to drink. But once again, we do help children in our own country as well. As a matter of fact, we've got some really cool stuff going on for the needy here in the United States. But anyway, look, if you decide you want to sponsor a child, once again, I would encourage you to click on the link that we have put up through the comments, and we've pinned it to the top now. So you can click on that and find a child to sponsor, and I'll know that I'll get a notification that you sponsored a child, and then I'll hook you up with all this stuff. I have stuff in my garage. I may even hook you up with some, for the first few that do it, I may even hook you up with the memorabilia that we have in the garage. I have like some stuff in the garage that nobody has. It's got signatures from our original drummer, and before my son was our drummer. And so, like, yeah, I got a bunch of stuff in there. Like a vest that I wore for a video shoot is in there, and it's signed. So I'm, for a few of you, you'll get a special little extra gift in there, along with all the shirts and everything else. So yeah, man, how is everybody doing tonight? Oh, that's awesome, Curious Vic. Curious Vic is watching on YouTube right now. And Curious Vic has a child that he sponsors in El Salvador. I've wanted to sponsor a child since I saw you in Spring Hill. I'm sad I still can't due to my situation. Yeah, Derek, I get it, man. Like, it's tough. It's tough for a lot of people. And so, I'm female. I'm F. Curious Vic, if you're a female, if that's what that means, you may want to change your name. But then again, Vic could be Victoria, Vicky, even. You know what? Keep your name the way it is. I accept you just for who you are, Curious Vic. The female Curious Vic. So, but I appreciate you watching too. But I know we had this conversation before, right? And then I forgot again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Vicky. That's my bad. You know it's my bad. Does it only count if we do it today? Can we pay when we get paid? Yeah. Actually, just use that. I'm going to just leave it open. And for anybody that watches the replay, so if you're watching the replay, right now we're live, but when the replay comes on, anybody that clicks on that, I just feel strongly like, man, I have merch in my garage right now that, you look at it and you go, that was for the tour that we were on that, halfway through it was canceled. And so we still had some merch, and I was like, man, I could sell that and do a discount and like do something really cool, and or I could just offer it. If you sponsor a child, you get that stuff. And any of y'all that know me know I do it at our concerts. I'll just give a bunch of stuff away. And so God is always taking care of it. That's why I was so embarrassed today and ashamed that I sat there, even for the moments I did, like kind of anxious, anxious about the situation. And there's a lot of people that depend on me, and not just with 7 Day Slumber, but with Rockfest Records and Burtonwood Records and the whole Nashville label group family. And so, but I was like, nah, devil, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. And I know that saying, you can't outgive God. And you usually see a televangelist, get on there and just like, saying that and stuff. But man, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. It's not just a cliche for me. I really believe that, that if I'm doing something for the right reasons and I'm really taking a step in faith, I know that God is going to bless me. He's never let me down. He's never let my wife down and our children. And 7 Day Slumber has been doing this for over 20 years, over 20 years. And we've always been able to have food in our bellies, maybe a little too much, but we've always had food. We've always had, clean running water to drink. We've always had a roof over our head, and it's God that did that. And so we're stepping out and saying, you know what? There are people that God wants to use us to touch their life, to help them. And I was, Child Fund is a great way to sponsor a child that I've been doing for a year. Absolutely. And so but at the same time, what I was going to say too is when I get caught up in those moments, like where I'm anxious or when I'm feeling like, oh, what am I gonna do? It's important that you fight to take every thought captive. So some of you, it may not be about like, how am I going to pay my bills? It may be, how am I going to not drink today? For some of you, it may be, how am I going to not cut myself today? For some of you watching, it may be, how am I going to not make myself throw up today? For some of you, it may be, how am I going to get through the day feeling this depressed? And I want you to know that you can have victory, man. You can have victory over that stuff in your life. And it doesn't mean you won't have moments like I did today. And actually yesterday I had about an hour there where I was just in the slumps for a minute, for about an hour. And I was just like, because it can get away from you. Your thoughts can get away from you. But I just want to encourage you, man. It's important to take those thoughts captive. You got to fight to take those thoughts captive. How much is it to sponsor a child? It's $36 per month. But once again, James, there's no contracts. No one's going to come looking for you if you can't. If the money's not there, it's not there. But once again, I got to say this. I say it at all our shows. It's like, I know that we serve a God that if you take care of his, he'll take care of yours. And a lot of times, man, we're like too scared. We're having to hold on to everything we got. And we're so worried about holding on to everything we got. And like, am I going to lose anything? And so we're so focused on keeping what we've got. And what that shows is that we don't trust God to take care of it to bless someone else. Like, I've got to hold on to this. And if I bless someone else, then I won't have this. And what if I never get it again? But that's not a way to live, man. It's certainly not a way to live by faith. Like, if I'm too busy holding on to everything, and I get it, man. It's scary. It's scary when you only have this much. but you see someone in need and you know that if you give that, it's going to cost you. But I promise you, man, I promise you that God, and I'm not talking about sponsoring children right now. I'm not saying if you don't sponsor a child, God's not going to bless you. I'm talking about in life right now, man. In life, if you're holding on to something so tightly that you're scared to let it go because you don't think you're ever going to get it again, then you've made that an idol. You've made that an idol, and you're not trusting God to be God in your life. He says, don't be anxious for anything. That's not just a suggestion. He's saying, I got you. I got you covered. Don't I take care of the birds in the air? I'll take care of you. But it has to be, we have to make the first move, We got to make the first move. And once again, I'm not like doing this and saying, all right, so now I'll need the next 3 people to sponsor a child. You know where the link's at. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is quit making stuff in your life an idol. And I have to catch myself. And so I can't be the only one. And maybe some of you never have that problem, and that's good. That's awesome. Maybe you can send me advice on how to never, ever be anxious ever in life. But at the end of the day, I think all of us have moments of weakness. At least I do. And today was one of those days, and I decided I was going to jump on Facebook and try to do something for other people that didn't have even clean running water or food to eat. So once again, if you just joined, there's a link at the top, and my wife Lori is on in the next room, and she will continue to put the link up. But if you sponsor a child, there's a bunch of stuff here from like cool 7-Day Slumber hats, poster, 2 t-shirts. I'll hook you up with a couple t-shirts. I may even throw in a Rockfest t-shirt, which is the label we're all on. A lot of us bands. It says, "In God We Trust." And the flag is distressed because we're a country in distress, And then there's this shirt as well. If you just joined us. 7-Day Slumber. It says, "Help me hold on. I want to feel alive again. I want to feel alive again." And so then we got this really cool thing. It lights up. It says 7th-Day Slumber, Stephen Malcolm and Stars Go Dim. That's the tour we were on before the coronavirus hit us, the pandemic. I'll hook you up with some drumsticks, signature sticks from Blaze, our drummer. And then I'll hook you up with our latest album, Closer to Chaos. It's had some pretty cool songs do well. We had Alive Again, was #1 for 10 straight weeks, and Man Down went all the way to #2, and we'll see if it hits #1. But those, hopefully, we'll have 2 #1 songs on this album. But anyway, so it's $36 a month to sponsor a child, and if you do, I'll give you all that stuff. And for the first like 5 people or so, I'm going to go into my garage and dig out something really special from like the early 7th-Day Slumber years. Oh, I forgot we have bracelets too. I'll hook you up with some cool bracelets. 7th-Day Slumber bracelets. But I can't wait to get back out. Christy just sponsored another child. That is so awesome. Christy, I'm gonna make sure I hook you up. But here's what I gotta do for Christy, because I want to try this out so bad. Here we go. Yeah. Or Christy, did anybody else sponsor a child tonight? But that's really awesome, Christy. Can you see if a sponsored was completed? I did mine just now, but want to make sure as it froze. I'll have Lori check. She'll text our person. over at Child Fund, but that's Tasha just sponsored a child. So now I'm going to try something different with Tasha. Here we go. That's pretty cool, right? Kenny got one. Let me just do a DJ here. And let me do another applause. All right. That's awesome. Christy said the link kicked it back. We'll work on that too, Christy. And we can also, like, if you want to sponsor a child and you just can't use the link right now and you want to do it after this, or you just want to send 7 Day Slumber a message, like just send us a message, then I'll hook you up and we can do it that way, and I'll give you a bunch of stuff. And but once again, I'm gonna go dig in my garage too, and I'm going to hook you guys. I'm gonna hook you guys up with some stuff that there's a picture of me where I look like, well, it's not that one or that, it's over here. You can't see it, but it's up on the wall, and I look so dumb. I'm wearing this leather jacket, like I look like Scott Stapp from Creed. It was back in the day when, Creed was a big band, and so I guess they still are a big band. I've sold millions and millions of albums, but everybody sounded like, everybody was Creed, 12 Stones, and so I've got some pictures, that's some autographs, and so that's that are from with that picture, and so I'll hook you guys up. I've got stuff. Yeah, Christy, we got it covered, all sizes. And if we don't have it, I'll get it. So anything, and that's for any of you guys watching tonight. We have all sizes and that kind of stuff. But once again, I didn't get on here to just like do a telethon. And what was it, Jerry's Kids, or was it Jerry's? I want to say it was a telethon. And they used to do that, like Jerry's Kids or whatever. But and I didn't want to get on here also and sound like a televangelist. That's why when Wayne first said what he said at first, I was like, man, that's not who I am. I mean, nothing against televangelists or anything. That's just not me. I'm just a real person, man. It's like I'm not a preacher. I'm just a guy who's in love with Jesus. He's changed my life, and so I just wanted to get on here and do something. So Jerry Lewis, that's right, the Jerry Lewis telethons. And so so I just wanted to get on here, and I was like, man, if I can get kids sponsored, that would be awesome. And it looks like we're already getting kids sponsored. And for those of you that don't have the ability to click the link now while you're watching me, then that's okay, because after this you can click on the link and sponsor a child that way. And if it doesn't work, then you can just send us a message or send me a personal message. My Facebook is pretty easy. I think it's just Joseph Slumber. You'll see a picture of my wife and I up in the picture, and you can just send me a personal message and be like, hey, dude, I really want to sponsor a child, and I'll hook you up with a bunch of stuff. Like, we have all this stuff. Do you plan on trying to get more kids sponsored in the future? Yeah, Miller, definitely. This is something if anybody who wants to sponsor a child, until I run out of stuff in my garage, I'll give it to you. I don't care. Like, God has got this covered in my life. He's got me covered. And these are kids that don't have anything, and people will be like, oh, I wanted to share this with you. I sponsored 3 kids, but I sponsored one of them when we brought City Rock Fest to Evansville. Your awesome wife chose him for me. That's awesome, Sean. Man, we got to get back there. Man. Once all this, kind of fades away, we want to get back out there, and I can't wait to see y'all's beautiful faces. But what I was gonna say, forgot. Thunder Rainboy, what's up? Watching from YouTube. Tammy Garland Winter says, I love Seventh Day Slumber. Sharing Jesus is always good. I know that's right. Man, I know that's right. Um, Doing an awesome job hosting this. Praise Jesus. I want to help. Awesome, Chad. Man, message me. I'm bringing you back for sure. Awesome. You know what I want to do? Haven't seen you in 14 years. Old Soul from YouTube says, haven't seen us in 14 years. We're coming back. We're coming back, man. And I'm wanting to get out on the road. I don't know how soon. We can't wait to see you in person again. But here it's pretty awesome. Well, next time we come on here, I want to do some songs for you guys. I'm gonna have hopefully we're working on our worship album right now. So that's all I've been doing all day long is working on the worship album. So we've been doing worship every Saturday. Can we post your link and mention it? Man, that would be a blessing, Kenny. That would be awesome. If anybody else wants to take this link and let someone know that there are kids that need some help, and I know once again we're going through it in our own country and we're hurting here too. So I get it, man. And I just want to encourage you that are watching right now, man. It's so important. When I said take every thought captive, it works, man. The Bible says that for a reason. It works, but you have to do crazy stuff. Like for me, when I take every thought captive, I go crazy. Like I imagine this big hand coming. Does anybody else do weird stuff like that? I imagine this big hand grabbing this whatever the bad thought is. Like when I was getting off of cocaine, I was addicted to cocaine. So I started using cocaine at 14. And until I gave my life to Jesus, and I attempted suicide, and in the back of an ambulance, I gave my life to Jesus, and he set me free from cocaine. It took a couple years though, for me to be set free completely from cocaine. But when I had stopped using cocaine, I'd be driving down the road and something stupid would pop into my head like, man, what if I just looked over to my right and there was a bag of money that had fallen out of a Brinks security truck? Like, why would that thought pop in your mind? And then you start thinking about, man, I could buy as much cocaine as I wanted. Man, what if I found a kilo on the beach? What if a kilo washed up? For some of you that have struggled with drugs, you know what I'm talking about. Like, just weird thoughts for no reason, but then you start dwelling, right? And then you start thinking about the cocaine, you start thinking about the money, and hey, Isaac, how you doing, man? And you start thinking about the cocaine, you start thinking about the money, and then before you know it, instead of taking the thought captive, you've started to dwell on that thought, and then that dwelling on that thought, it leads to that temptation, it leads to the action, and here you are getting high in some dope house. And it all started from just letting a stupid thought into your mind and dwelling on it and not taking it captive. So, God healed me from cocaine. I don't think about cocaine. It's been years and years and years and years and years, I gave my life to Jesus in 1996, and it was a couple years after that I was completely able to quit cocaine. But anyway, but there are other things that pop into my mind, stupid things. And it's important that we take those thoughts captive. And that's what I'm talking about. For those of you that are watching right now, maybe you're letting thoughts dwell a little too long there. And especially in a time like this when we're locked in our houses, some of us are bored. We can't go anywhere. We're already stressed out about different things. We're trying to figure what we're going to do out and all of this stuff. And so, it's important in those moments when things pop up, I imagine that hand grabbing it and throwing it and it exploding in my mind. And then I go try to do something, like get up and go do something. It could be just pouring a glass of water. It could be whatever. I just try to go do something else or get my mind. It's important. Okay. So I just want to encourage you in that. I'm not going to hang on here very long. I've been on here quite a while already, like 45 minutes. So, once again, there are children that need a sponsor tonight. It's $36 a month, but if you can't do it for longer than that, if it's just not there, this is as long as God is providing, then that's all we can ask. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'll give you everything that we have: shirts, CDs, posters, drumsticks. All that's going to come in a big package for you, and I'll look for stuff in my garage that no one could buy. Right? There'd be stuff in there. So all you gotta do is, Steve, Newfoundland. I know it's spelt Newfoundland, but everybody kept saying Newfoundland when we were there. I was in the weirdest hotel in Newfoundland. The weirdest hotel. Did you guys know that in Newfoundland, Canada, they are the only place, I think, in the world that is halftime. So it's 30 minutes, Newfie. It's 30 minutes behind or ahead, not an hour. And so Gander Hotel, man, that was the weirdest hotel, dude. I'm not talking bad about the hotel. All I'm saying is we played for King and Country, I believe. That was before they were, before they got really, really big and were, they're really good dudes. But anyway, we were doing a concert there, and For King and Country was there. I think Reggie Dabbs. Anybody know Reggie? But Reggie Dabbs was there. I don't know who all was there. I think 1,000 Foot Crutch was there. But it was really, really, it was really awesome. But anyway, the 30 minutes, like, threw us off so much because it wasn't an hour ahead or an hour behind. And we were like, man, who does 30 minutes ahead or behind? But anyway, in that Gander Hotel, good night, Curious Vic. In that Gander Hotel, have you ever seen the videos where you go? Nope, TFK wasn't there. Okay. But anyway, when you, I don't remember. We do a lot of concerts, but I remember this hotel because when you ever seen the videos when you go down, you end up coming up when you go around something, and they have like videos that have you going like down and it's an illusion. This hotel was like that. It had half floors that were weird. It's hard to explain, but there is a video somewhere on YouTube, and it's on, you just have to look through the 7-Day Slumber stuff and you will see we did a video of it, and it was the weirdest thing ever. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Love you guys very, very much. Remember, if you can sponsor a child, there's a link, and I'll get a notification that you sponsor a child. If you can't click on the link or whatever, send me a personal message and I'll help you sponsor a child, and then I'll hook you up with a bunch of stuff that even stuff in my garage you wouldn't have been able to buy. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, exactly, man. That's what I'm saying. All right. Love you guys. Peace.